Hi, this is Kristen here. Welcome to another process video, and today I'm working on 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, and it is sketch number 9. So it looks like there's 3 pictures with floral clusters around each picture. And I decided to use Prima's Farm Sweet Farm. So I had gone on to scrapbook.com and purchased this because I actually had these pictures in mind to document. And I went on scrapbook.com, searched farm, and this was one of the ones that popped up. And I just thought it was really pretty and would be perfect for my daughter, loving on a little baby goat. So we were actually in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and they had an Amish run farm there. We went to, and they had, the kids could feed the cows, and they had like baby calves and pigs and chicks and bunny rabbits, and I mean they had all kinds of stuff there. So the kids absolutely loved it, and I think she would have allowed me, if I would have allowed her, she would have totally brought that goat home. And so I'm working with some die cut ephemera, some cardstock stickers, and then I bought a ton of flowers from Prima. So you can see I've got plenty to choose from there. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started here by picking out my papers. I really like this chicken wire paper, so that's kind of what I went with. You'll see, so the video ended up cutting off at the end. I don't know why my camera's been acting weird with recording stuff. Like, it's just been all of a sudden turning off. So I get a majority of this filmed, but you'll see at the end I do end up backing some paper. So initially I was like, I wanted to make sure I wanted it on that paper, so that's why you see me like holding up all these different papers. But then I kind of ran into, do I want to back the photographs with anything? So I was trying to decide on that a little bit. Now it looked to me like in her sketch, I don't know if the photographs were supposed to be circled, and I'm so sorry, I don't know who did that sketch. I actually need to go back and look because it wasn't on my sheet. So I need to go and look and see if it's somewhere on the Facebook page. But I will put the person's name down below if I can find it, because I want to give credit where credit is due. But anyways, that sketch looked like the photographs were in a circle, and I honestly really did not. I don't have a big enough punch to do a circle photograph like that, so I just decided to just do squares. So I'm pulling on the different ephemera pieces from that ephemera pack and just trying to decide visually what I want on this layout. There will be a playlist down below for people who are posting their videos on YouTube, and there's also a Facebook group, so I will put all that information down below. So if you want to check out what others are making, or if you want to go ahead and participate yourself, it's really fun. It's a lot of fun. And I really feel like I get a lot done. So the last sketch challenges I think were in June, and I got so much scrapbooking done because I feel like it takes out some of the thinking for you, because you're following a sketch. So really then at that point you just got to pick out your photographs and your whatever collection you're going to be pulling from, and then it's kind of, you're off to the races there. So here you can see I'm like, do I want to back it with something? I tried that gold paper. I tried different papers that were included in this collection, and I was feeling like it wasn't really adding to it. So I was kind of like pondering it for a minute, maybe backing it on white. But then I'm like, you know what, let me just work on getting some more of the foundation laid down of what I think I want to use on this, and then I'll make kind of a decision then at that point. So I'm going to start pulling on the florals. So I kind of, in my mind, I was thinking to do like a bigger flower, a smaller flower, and then kind of like branch out and use kind of smaller pieces. I had some that had like little gemstones in it, so I wanted to get some of those worked on there. So and I was so nitpicky with these flowers. That's what a lot of this recording is me kind of laying out these flowers. So if you get bored, feel free to fast forward. I don't know what it is about florals like this. Like, I just kind of get stuck on them. because I don't want them to always look like the same. Like I feel like you can fall into the kind of the trap of like maybe putting 2 and 3 like right side by side, and I want to make sure that I'm not doing that. I want them to look dimensional and that kind of more random, I guess. And again, I won't, when I use like floral pieces like this, I'll make sure that really in this one album for this particular year, I'll make sure I'm not doing a bunch of dimensional stuff, because obviously, you know, these flowers are actually pretty flat. The roses, like that shiny rose on the right, then I actually don't end up using any of those on this layout. Those were pretty, had quite a bit of dimension to them. So I feel like it's okay to do that. It's just, you know, you can't put I don't feel like you can put a ton of these, you know, in the same album. And really, if you're going to shadow box them, you know, or have them displayed up, you know, where you have them displayed on your wall or something, then, you know, obviously that wouldn't really matter so much. But so you can see, I mean, look at how nitpicky I'm being with this. Like I'm just, I think at this point, kind of in my mindset, kind of what I was thinking, I was like, well, this looks pretty, but I think in my mind, I was like, it's starting to kind of overwhelm the photograph, because the photo was so small. That's a lot of flowers. But I also didn't want just a couple flowers, you know, put next to each picture to where it didn't look like a cluster. Like I wanted it to be more clustered. So I'm trying to pull in some of those chipboard pieces just to kind of break up some of the flowers and add a little bit more texture or dimension there, because I didn't want it to be like all flowers and that was it. And while I think this is looking pretty, something about it was bothering me. I ended up getting most of this kind of laid out, and then my son had soccer games, so we ended up leaving, going to his soccer games, and then I came back to it later, and like what was bothering me ended up being remedied. And then I was like, I don't really know why it was bothering me so much. I don't know if I just felt like the photos were getting a little lost in this. I don't know. It's hard to say. I feel like sometimes there's layouts that you really struggle with. Like, at least for this one, I really had like kind of a vision in my mind, and then it just wasn't coming together like I was hoping. Although it does. It finally does. It takes me a minute to get there. So we're actually going to be going back to the same farm. Actually, I think by the time I drop this photo, we'll be back from our trip. But so I actually end up buying some more of this paper, because I've got so many of the flowers and so much of the ephemera, and I figure I'll probably definitely take more pictures of her with animals, because that little girl is an animal lover. Anything furry, anything fluffy, she's going to try to get her hands on. She loves animals. She's a little bit of a Snow White that way. They tend to gravitate towards her, and I feel like they trust her. I don't know. She just has that kind of gentle, you know, she knows to be gentle with them. So anyway, so I got more of the paper, because I only had bought like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 sheets of this collection, and ended up finding a whole pack of it on Amazon, where it came in the whole paper pad. So again, see, I'm being so nitpicky with these flowers. Like, again, if you want to fast forward this part, feel free to, but because I cut out a lot of my video, I kind of wanted to keep this process in, because this was a lot of it anyways was me. I mean, it really was. It was like a lot of me messing with these flowers. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, But I think, like, especially with these pretty florals, pretty papers, I just want that to be perfect. Like, I don't know. And especially if you're going to add this much dimension to a layout, you kind of want to, I don't know, I guess in my mind, I kind of want to make it right. But and you can see, like, I really, it was like, and I was trying to balance the colors, like not have too many pinks right on top of pinks and browns on top of browns and whites on top of whites. I was trying to, keep them kind of more evenly spaced out. And then I was trying to work in some more of those, chipboard pieces just to kind of break that up a little bit. But you can kind of see where they're kind of overtaking, the flowers are kind of overtaking the pictures at this point, so. But my initial mindset was I was going to have the photographs directly onto this background, maybe back it. I was thinking about mounting the photos on something, just depending on how I felt like this was going. And then basically just using the flowers as my ephemera, my clusters, and then keep it simple that way. This little chicken or rooster chipboard sticker was really cute. And the chipboard stickers weren't super sticky, so I felt like I could kind of like put them on there and move them around and not have a problem with them sticking. So I definitely did have to end up adding glue. So I'm going to start working on this third cluster here. So anyways, so this farm was ran by the Amish, and they had all kinds of animals. They had cows, horses. My oldest got to help my husband drive the horses in like in a covered, well, it wasn't, I guess, kind of a semi-covered wagon, but in a wagon, and he really enjoyed that a lot. But they had pigs that would go down they had like a little kid slide, and the pigs would go down the slide, and how they would get the pigs to get up and go down the slide was by feeding them Cheeto Puffs, which, all the kids there thought it was hilarious. They had baby pigs, they had chicks, bunny rabbits, they had all kinds of animals there, and it was very interactive. They allowed the kids to get up there and feed the bottles to the cows, the baby cat, I guess I should say the calves, and then my husband went to pick up one of the pigs, which we were allowed to. I've got a picture of him with my son. I wish I would have gotten the video of it because it was hilarious. But my younger son, they went to pick up the pig, and the pig squealed like my husband was gonna do something terrible to it or something. And my younger son, just like the look on his face was like, he was so perplexed, like, what is happening? I think it kind of scared him, honestly, a little bit. He was a little hesitant to really interact with the animals much, so we'll see how he is. We're actually going to be going back here. By the time this video drops, we'll be back from vacation, from going to this to Lancaster again, and we're going to return to the farm. So it'd be kind of interesting to see the difference in how he is this time around. My daughter, of course, was like totally about it. I think the only thing she wouldn't do is she was a little intimidated by the calves. So she didn't want to feed the calves because she was pretty little still at the time. But bunny rabbits, the chicks, all that stuff, she was like, she loves animals. She's a little bit of an animal whisperer. I feel like she knows to be real gentle with them, and you'll see here in a moment, I cut away. That was, I think, about the time that the recording stopped. So I do end up figuring out, like, something about this was bothering me. I think because everything was so spaced out, it just looked so separated. You'll see me kind of mush everything together here in a few moments. And I really like that visually a lot better. And then what I decided to do was because it wasn't recording for whatever reason, my camera's been acting really weird with like recording, like it'll just shut off all of a sudden, or I think it's recording and it's not. And I know I pushed play because I've looked to make sure it's recording, so I don't know what's going on with it. But so here's where I squish everything together. But what I end up doing, because something about it was bothering me, I do end up pulling on paper so in the collection it had floral paper that had kind of like gold foiling on it. So I cut that into a square, even though the sketch didn't have it, and put it behind these pictures. I took and mounted the pictures onto the barn white cardstock. So there was that barnwood white cardstock that was in this kit. Went ahead and mounted that on that paper, distressed the edges of the photographs as well as that paper that I mounted it on. And then, so here is where I've gotten everything kind of glued down. I've reduced the amount of florals in the clusters, and I felt like that looked better balanced. And then what I'm doing here is, do you remember like, probably 10, 15 years ago, the big thing was to have rhinestones, like clusters on your layouts. So I have a ton of these left over. I don't feel like they're as popular as they used to be. I feel like sequins has kind of taken the place of it, but these are like flat backed pearls. So I decided to kind of cut it apart because I didn't want to use it in whole. So here I'm just taking these pieces off of the backing. So it had kind of adhesive backing to it. And then I will scatter those off screen all over the florals and on the paper. And here is a couple close-up shots. I appreciate you for coming by to watch another process video.